The kingdom of Okidi has never known peace. They were often terrorized by mermaids who were their neighbors, inhabiting the gigantic ocean next to them. There was no passing week that mermaids did not capture the local village men and women in their farms, as well as their little children from the stream. But everything began to change after King Ade emerged as king. King Ade turned out to be the wisest king the village ever had. He built a strong wall over the kingdom, and recruited the most formidable guardsmen the kingdom has ever known to man the walls, preventing mermaid invasion. This worried the river goddess and her mermaids. Their blood banks were beginning to run dry, and if it continued that way, they might all die off in no distant time. They began to hunt for fish and amphibians in the ocean. But the pregnant mermaids needed human blood to nourish themselves and successfully give birth to offspring mermaids. Soon, they began to plan an invasion as they do not want to go into extinction. But their problem was the giant fierce-looking men that manned the gates to Okidi Kingdom. One evening, the mermaids without warning launched an all-out assault on the walls of Okidi. They hurled enchanted water spears and cast dark spells to break through the defenses. The soldiers, however, were well prepared. They used flame arrows and nets, enchanted by the kingdom's most powerful sorcerer, to repel the attackers. The fire from the arrows fizzled and hissed in the water, creating steam clouds that confused the mermaids. The enchanted nets glowed with a radiant light that weakened the mermaids' magic, making them easy targets. The mermaids, frustrated by their failure to breach the walls, decided on a more cunning approach. They planned to seduce one of the men who were forbidden to sleep with women while on duty. One mermaid, more beautiful and cunning than the rest, volunteered for the task. Her name was Serena, and she had a voice that could charm the most hardened warrior. Serena sang her haunting melody every night by the wall where a young guard named Femi patrolled. Femi, who had never known a woman's touch, was captivated by her beauty and song. She promised him eternal love and riches beyond his wildest dreams if he would only let her through the gate. Torn between duty and desire, Femi finally gave in and opened the gate for Serena. Disguised as a beautiful maiden, Serena made her way to the king's court. King Ade was intrigued by the mysterious beauty, and Serena seduced the king with her charms. Despite warnings from his advisors, King Ade married Serena, believing she was his true love. On their wedding night, Serena poisoned the king with a rare toxin that left him bedridden and weak. She kept him confined in his chamber, whispering lies that the poison was an illness only she could cure. With the king incapacitated, Serena took control of the kingdom. She stopped paying the guardsmen, who abandoned their posts in anger. The mermaids took this opportunity to invade the kingdom, slaughtering hundreds of villagers. For weeks, the kingdom of Okidi was in chaos. The poison in the king's body, however, began to dissipate. King Ade, regaining his strength, managed to escape his chamber. He gathered the guardsmen and revealed how he had been hypnotized by the treacherous mermaid. United by their loyalty to the true king, the guardsmen rallied and launched a counterattack against the mermaids. The guardsmen stormed the palace under the cover of darkness. The air was thick with tension as they moved silently through the halls, their weapons at the ready. Serena and her mermaid cohort had taken over the palace, and were caught off guard in the middle of a lavish feast celebrating their overthrow of King Ade. Suddenly, the guardsmen burst into the grand hall, their battle cries echoing off the marble walls. Chaos erupted as the mermaids, realizing the ambush, leaped to their feet and drew their enchanted weapons. A fierce clash ensued. The guardsmen, driven by vengeance and duty, fought with unmatched ferocity. Blades clanged and sparks flew as steel clashed. The mermaids retaliated with powerful water spells, summoning waves that crashed through the hall, soaking the combatants and extinguishing torches, plunging parts of the palace into darkness. Serena, seeing the tide turning against her, attempted to flee. She wove through the crowded arena, her gown billowing behind her like a shadow. But Femi, the guard who had once been enchanted by her, intercepted her at the door. With a look of steely resolve, he blocked her path. "You will not escape justice, Serena," Femi growled, raising his sword. Serena's eyes flashed with anger and desperation. "Foolish mortal," she hissed, her voice losing its enchanting softness. She launched herself at Femi, her claws bared and fangs gleaming. Their fight was brutal and personal, a whirlwind of strikes and counterstrikes. Femi fought with the guilt of his betrayal fueling his strength, while Serena's desperation gave her a savage edge. Finally, with a deft move, Femi disarmed her, and she fell to the ground, defeated. Meanwhile, the battle raged on in the Grand Hall. The guardsmen fought with the courage of those defending their homeland. They used their enchanted nets and flame arrows to great effect, driving the mermaids back step by step. The mermaids' spells grew weaker as the guardsmen outnumbered them, pressing this advantage with unwavering determination. As dawn broke, the tide of battle turned decisively in favor of the guardsmen. The mermaids, seeing their defeat imminent, began to retreat towards the ocean. The guardsmen pursued them to the shoreline, where the final confrontation took place. With a final, coordinated assault, the guardsmen drove the mermaids back into the waves. Exhausted but victorious, the guardsmen stood on the beach, watching as the mermaids disappeared beneath the surface of the ocean. The cost had been high, but the kingdom of Okidi had emerged victorious. King Ade, now freed from Serena's spell, stepped forward, addressing his brave soldiers. "Today, we have reclaimed our kingdom," he declared, his voice strong despite his weariness. "We have driven out the darkness that sought to destroy us. Let this victory be a testament to our strength and our unity." Cheers erupted from the guardsmen, their spirits lifted by the king's words. The kingdom began to rebuild, stronger and more united than ever before. The memory of Serena's treachery would linger, but it would also serve as a reminder of the courage and resilience of Okidi's people. Peace slowly returned to the kingdom, but the lessons learned from the battle ensured that Okidi would remain vigilant, ready to defend against any threat that might arise from the depths of the ocean.